Yes, sir. Clap it up, man. We had another 100% win rate call out day, man. So we called out puts at the high of day, right? And we called puts at open of day. Absolutely printed today, right? We only played puts, 0 DTEs, and then we bought July 24th puts. Bought those, rolled out, kept scaling, kept rolling, and kind of just really just played a bunch of puts, right? Played a bunch of puts today. Smacked crazy, right? It was going nuts. But yeah, so let's basically go over, the SPY, basically see what's happening in the market, right? How we talked about this exact move, right? How we kind of figured this is kind of what the market would do. Obviously, like I said, nothing is 100%, right? We don't know anything for 100%, but this is kind of what we've been talking about for the past few days. So let's get into the game plan, man. Let's get into it. All right, so first things first, Google did not beat, or no, not my fault, I'm sorry. Google did not beat, but Google did not push up, right? Remember we kind of talked about this diamond pattern. We were kind of like, oh, well, it's funny, we already drew it. But, we kind of figured like, okay, if we didn't break above the 358, 360 level to push back up, then if we did lose 345, we probably would lose, 340 and roll back over. So earnings kind of did that for us. Tesla, same thing. Descending wedge, right? Went to the same level. So those two main earnings we had, wait, IBM, was it IBM in the earnings? Oh, no, that was sheesh. But, yeah, so really, NVIDIA popped, but it's kind of getting a pullback. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure everything else kind of had a little downside, right? But I mean, like I said, it's good for our position that we're in, right? The puts that we swung, further out puts. And we talked about this, right? We talked about how we had this, not only the broadening formation, but we also had this higher time frame flag, right? As far as we know, right? And the only way we can confirm is if we get this breakdown, right, and confirm below. So that's kind of what we're gonna be looking for. But how do we know, right? How do we know this? Well, multiple reasons. So the main reason, right, is because we had this higher time frame double top. Remember, we talked about how we had this 4-hour double top, right? And the double top was confirmed because we broke down, retest, and then we got the continuation. So we this is official double top, right? So the only way it's not no longer valid is if, like I said, we got above 748, 750, held, closed above, right? We talked about this yesterday and every other day, same levels, and then pushed back up, right? That was the only way we would have, kind of played those longs after that initial, push during the morning. But other than that, we took more puts, right? Took puts up here, all right, held them, and then now with earnings, we're kind of getting that overnight sell. Not as strong as I'd like it to be, honestly. Well, it's early, my fault. So let me be patient. Let me be patient. But yeah, I hope it would, start rolling. Maybe tomorrow we go ahead and see that 740, right? Come on down. But like, how do we get here, right? How do we know this is gonna happen? So multiple reasons. So the main reason we talked about was the daily, right? Not the daily, the dollar. We talked about how the dollar was starting to get this pump, right? And the dollar's kind of like an indicator as well. When the markets are good, stocks are good, everybody's happy. Everyone wants their money in the market, right? They want their money somewhere doing something, right? So if the market's good, it's usually a good sign. But if the dollar starts going up, that means a lot of people, are kind of taking their money out of the stocks and, holding cash. So they're putting their money in cash. So therefore, cash is going up. So they're taking money out of stocks and they're putting it in the dollar, right? So that was one reason, right? Obviously, a loan by itself, you can't just use one thing by alone and be like, oh, because of this, right? But it was this plus the fact that the VIX was holding these upper levels, right? I don't know what that candle was. That last end of day candle was pretty nuts. But yeah, right at the end of day, right when the market closed, we had this crazy pop up to like 19. So it was holding green for a while, but I don't know if that was a wick or what. But either way it goes, like I said, it was just here it is. I got a picture of it. It looked like before. So I was like, oh well, you know me, I'm swinging some puts. I don't know what this is about, right? Usually when we have these high volatility spikes, the market's just expecting a big move, right? And a lot of times it is to the downside, right? I'm not gonna say every single time it spikes to the downside move, but for the most part, it does give us nice, dump days and stuff like that. So, yeah, that plus the dollar, right? And then the fact that we were flagging underneath resistance area, right? We need to get back above this in order to flip support, right? It has to go back above 748 in order to flip support. And if not, like I said, if we cannot hold, we lose 746, 745, right? We're going to be looking for some more downside, right? Roll back over 744, 743, and then main target 739, 740. So on the smaller time frame, right? This is the 4-hour time frame. So you have to be you have to be very patient with this kind of stuff. So let's see what we have here. So basically, we kind of have the same thing over here, right? But on the smaller time frame. So this is like a 1 hour possible double top. And the only way we will know is if, like I said, we get below, right? Retest, or we can do it overnight, right? Keep an eye out on this. But if we do kind of hold on overnight, and then we lose, that, well, I guess it would be today's pre-market low, and then yesterday's pre-market low as well. So kind of both previous days low area. So 744 is gonna be a really, really tough area. And if we do just slice through it, like I said, break down, hold 743 all the way back down to bottom of this range that we've kind of just been rotating in. You know what I'm saying? So if this is just another rotation, like I said, we'll roll down all the way to the bottom, and then we'll see how we act from there. Now, if earnings is kind of weird. Like the market can open back up green tomorrow. Right? I don't know. But if we magically do kind of recover 746, right, get back above today's close, if that can happen, then we can kind of see, okay, we can hold 747, 748, maybe try again for the 750. It is getting, it's getting pretty wild. It keeps testing the same exact level a million times. But like I said, it's not really up to us. We don't control the market. We just got to adapt, right? And that's why we just kept buying time today. That's why after we did the 0DTs, we were kind of like, all right, cool, we're just gonna kind of sit and wait. So then when we saw this right up here at this previous breakdown level, it was like, well, what's the best thing to do, right? We cracked that, boom, puts right into our next level, 748, and then we just kind of rolled, right? Rolled out, and then now, like I said, we're here where we are. So yeah, we're gonna see how this kind of plays out. Nothing's confirmed yet, right? It came all the way down here, but it's still not doing anything. We're not doing anything, right? We're just not doing anything right now. So this still can, like I said, just flip back up somehow and still go higher. But like I said, if we're gonna keep chopping, then just let it chop. Zoom out to the higher time frames. Make sure you're being patient and being smart with your entries, because anything can just flip on you quick, right? And we've had these kind of moves happen a lot lately. We've had these random super reds and then followed by super green, all this different stuff. But if the market's gonna chop, it's gonna chop, right? You don't want to just get caught in that trying to trade, a bunch of 0DTs all the time, because you can get cooked. So just a word of advice, just to make sure that you're not, gambling, all right? Because I know it seems fun, like, oh, 0DTs, a million percent, but you see how, like, when I'm doing the call outs, like, I'm like, hey, we're trimming, 15, 20%, base hits, because this market is a little weird. You know what I'm saying? It's a little weird. We're not confirmed either way it goes, right? Even though, yes, we got this dump, that doesn't mean we're confirmed bearish, right? This thing could double bottom right here, right, over previous day's lows, and then tomorrow morning just absolutely rock it, right? We don't know. So, like I said, I prefer to come down here, because then it'll be easier to buy off of a lower level. Right, it'd be easier to buy into this and then maybe roll down here, or buy off of this. Like, it's just easier to buy off the lower levels. I'm not trying to buy this if it's all the way up high. You know what I'm saying? So I have to wait until it completely reclaims, and then try to get in on maybe one of these breakout retests or something like that. But just kind of like I said, keep an eye out. Keep watching the same levels. Right, zoom out. Look what happened. We had we had this trend line, right, from all-time highs. We had the all-time highs trend line, right? We broke out, double top, couldn't. Remember, this is the break that should have sent us new highs if this was going to be fully bullish last week. But boom, breakdown, failure, and then we're just kind of staying in the same range. But I don't like the fact that we just won't lose the 745, right? We've had multiple opportunities, but literally like this, look, all these wicks. When it does come down here, super wick, right? But if we can get back below, that's what I'm saying, we can get below it, then maybe we can test the 740. But as of now, it's kind of like, we're just gonna have to take this, play by play, level by level. And that's another thing too. You have to make sure that you're getting your levels correctly, because if you're not, you're just gonna be wasting your time, right? If you're just only using one thing, or you're only looking for one sign, or one, oh, we went up, I gotta go puts, or we went down, I gotta go call. Like, you need to understand your levels. You need to zoom out. You need to understand where's your support, where's your resistance, right? These are all things that you need to understand, because if you don't, this is just not gonna work for you. To put it bluntly, you know what I'm saying? If you don't understand your levels or the charts, you will not succeed in this, right? Because this is your blueprint. Your tools are your weapons, right? When you go to war, you need your weapons. These are your weapons, right? These are the tools that you use in order to, attack the market. So, yeah, Amazon down, Meta pushing down, Microsoft pushing down. NVIDIA is up. Had a nice little pump today. Still above this level though, so still above that 210. So that could be a nice little breakout retest level. But if we do lose 210, this thing can roll back right down. Right? It's been doing this. Huge pumps, gives it away. Huge pumps, gives it away. Huge pumps, gives it all away. Huge pumps, and then we'll see if we give this all away. Right? Maybe even a inverse head and shoulder or something. I don't know. But yeah, NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA is probably the only one of the main Mag 7s that's green right now. Yeah, GOOGs. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. Yeah, no, Tesla's down too. So, yeah, I mean, if everything wants to, get a bigger push down tomorrow, obviously we'll be here. We'll watch it happen. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's Wednesday, or it's going into Thursday. So, I guess really nothing too crazy to look out for, other than, what I'm saying, if the VIX, like I said, if we do just continue to pop tomorrow, and the VIX does reclaim 17, right, 1725, possibly pop out of this channel, and then we'll see. Right, we'll see if we can come up here and fill this gap up at 18.5. So that, and then the dollar. So the dollar keeps pushing. Then I got an alert up here too. Then hey, we'll probably get a little sketchy rug pull, right? And I've been talking about these rug pull moves for the past few days now. Like every day, I'm like, hey, look at the VIX, look at the dollar, and SPY's going up on low volume. So expect rug pull moves. And then we caught this rug pull. We caught this one. We caught this one overnight, and then we caught this one intraday. So we basically caught every dump this week and last week, so that's good, but yeah, man, just make sure y'all, like I said, keep an eye out on your levels. Make sure you understand what we're looking for. Right above previous day's close, we target previous day's highs, 750. Above that, we can actually get a push. If we cannot reclaim those levels, same thing, right? Same level, same lower levels, right? 745, 744. It's our main levels to watch for any kind of breakdown resistance. If we can get below this, right, then we can finally start talking about this lower 750. But even then, I mean, my fault, 740. But even then, if we go down to 740, we could just get absolute squeeze back up, you know what I'm saying, with different earnings. So, yeah, man, this market is nuts. That's why I've just been so, quick to kind of give you guys these profit targets that are in and out, right? You get your 35, 40% in and out, right? You leave runners, catch 100%, of course, but everything else, you get your money, you leave, right? You get your money, you leave. That's just how you should do it. And this kind of PA, right? Because this ain't this stuff that we was working with a while back, right? We was just buying, swinging, oversold dips, buying, you know what I'm saying? This was an easier price action. But this over here, goodness, this is really getting frustrating. But like I said, if you guys need help, you know where to find me. Links all in the description. Yeah, like I said, yeah, just be very careful in this market, man. Just be very careful. The gamma levels are showing that there's the high magnet area at 740, 739. So, but we got to get through 745, 744 first. Really the same exact level that we just can't get through. But if we can get through it, right, we'll probably accelerate. So underneath, like I said, 744, we can finally get this push down. And honestly, we could roll, right? We could get and mind you, this is a 4-hour candles. So, bear with me. See how we kind of rolled all the way down? Right, this one kind of double top underneath 744 and then came down, and then this is the original 750 that lost, that came down 733. Right, so you see how we kind of, even here we came down to 740, even here we came down to 740, but for some reason they just don't want to give us them 740. They're being frustrating. But if we can finally get it, I'm definitely gonna be just washing my hands clean of this, and then I'll watch from here. If we do try to get some pop, but if we do get a pop and roll back over, or if we just slice through, if we slice through 740 tomorrow, we start chopping below, target 736, and then that 731, 729 main area, right? We could get in a day. They could keep chopping away from our earnings, but we don't really know, right? So make sure y'all are dropping, tickers and stuff you want me to go over in the comments. Make sure y'all checking that out. Like I said, if you need help learning how to chart, what to look for, how do I learn my levels? How do I learn, how am I, if you're in that kind of stage, and you're in YouTube's kind of, you've reached your point, you watched every YouTube video, you watch all this stuff, and you just still need a little help. Like I said, DM me. I am doing the Q3 mentorships right now, and results speak for themselves. All my students, I'm pretty sure y'all can attest to that. Especially, I know y'all watching this right now. But yeah, man, it's a skill, but it does take time. It does take patience. Don't just hop in thinking you just got it right away, because trust me, we all think that. We all have a good few days, and we like, this cake, I got this, and then Market will show you. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's a game where you're constantly learning, right? We're constantly figuring things out. We're constantly putting two and two together. We're trying to, oh, wow, we got to learn this. We got to learn this. You know, so, but it's not, I don't want to say all that to scare you or anything, but just to make sure that you're understanding that this is serious, right? You can't just come in here playing around or you're going to get your money taken. So, you know, you want to treat this serious, treat it serious, right? But at the same time, keep it simple. Remember, it's as simple as you make it. If you complicate it, things will get complicated. If you keep it simple, things will become simple. So it's all up to you, right? The trade is in the eye of the beholder. All right. But yeah, man, like I said, that's pretty much going to be it for now. We're going to see how we hold overnight. We're already not looking good for any more downside. So if we do hold, like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and take these longs, man. I'm not going to keep fighting with this price action, man. This is nuts. Like, what is this? Like, what is this? It's crazy. But yeah, it's already getting pushed in after hours. That's the only thing. I wish I could sell some of these contracts. But thankfully we did, right? We did get a good sell for 33% when the VIX spiked. I don't know why, but the contracts just went up. So that was very good for us. So we did sell some at 33%. But we still got, like I said, we still got next week's too. So it's frustrating, man. They're just chopping and chopping. But like I said, it's only middle of the week, so we'll see how it goes. But peace. I don't want to talk your ear off. We're already going over 15 minutes. But either way it goes, it's your boy K Trades. Follow me on the gram at OKBet. 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 Not OKAY. OKBET. So y'all know where to find me at. And did I go over? Wait, I went over overside levels, right? Yeah. Previous day's close and then push back up. Okay, cool. Went over that. But yeah, man. You know, I'm gonna be giving up, you know, updates overnight in the Discord and stuff like that. But I'm try to leave it alone. But we'll see, man. But yeah, lock in, keep it simple, keep God first. Peace.